Why are you doing these instant jump attacks? Questionable jump attacks appears over and over. Let's do it right now. Let's do a video about them. What you mean, I assume, is this, yeah? Like you do like a 180 quickly in the air and like you're changing the direction. So yeah, like as you can see, like controller in bottom right corner, you can do it by just simply running in the opposite direction without the lock. Very important. I am just running in the opposite direction, jump, immediate rotate, moving the analog in the opposite direction immediately, like this. And then I just simply, well, end up flying towards different direction with the instant 180. And there is like a plenty of stuff that you can do in the air, like for example 180 jumps of different type, where you are rotating the character. Do you lock in the midair? Yeah, I do lock in the midair. I essentially, yeah, I'm just, let's say assume like this is the opponent, I'm running away, I'm doing 180, and then in the middle of the air I am in fact locking on the opponent for the better tracking. Unless it is, for example, HTS, in that case there is no need. I can just like, you know, do the unlock, because in the air with this particular weapon you can basically cover 180 degrees on the lock on, or sorry, on the without the lock, yeah, if you are going to rotate correctly. What do you have to unlock? If you're gonna try to do it with lock, you see what's going on? Like I am not rotating. So that's why you have to unlock. And then like a lock in the middle of the air. You like lock on is not needed though, yeah? If we are on it, I also want to cover the topic of the bunny hops. So it is especially powerful with weapons like HTS. When you are jumping around, yeah, after the first jump, you are not sprinting anymore if you are gonna be spamming that jump, yeah? Even if you're gonna try to time it somehow, you are still like basically, you are jumping exactly like you would be jumping without the sprint. It's like the distance that you are traveling is not that much. But if you are going to hold the block, you end up actually jumping like you would be constantly on the sprint. So what I'm doing is I am holding the block over and over, and that's it. And because of that, let's say like there is a situation that my opponent is kind of expecting the fuck. Let's say like this is our opponent, this actual player, yeah, and he's expecting the jump attack. If you are just going to do something like that, yeah, he might actually get hit, but there is like a less chance he's going to actually receive hit when he is prepared for the oncoming hit. And because of that, you can like surprise them with an example like approaching the jump, do the empty jump, jump away, and then jump on them again. So bunny hopping is another tech that is quite cool in this game, and I am using a lot of the bunny hopping, for example, when I am escaping from the gang squad and so on. You can use bunny hopping like in invasions, for example, to traverse through all these rocks and so on. There are even spots on the map where you can only climb using the bunny hops. So with an HTS, this is a real frog build. Real, true, factual. Like, it's quite important traverse tech, let's call it that way. How to jump? Okay, like, this is very, very, very cool question. So, I basically have my jump on the Alt 3. It's like basically the button on the analog, yeah? And I have it because of two reasons. I think it is more important to have crouch on A or X button, depending which layout you're using. And overall, whereas it is less comfortable to have jump on the Alt 3, at some point it just grows on you. And ultimately, in my case, I even think like it is a little bit better. Just be aware that like having the button on Alt 3 at first going to kind of block your moves when you are going to start using this type of binding in the air. Like for example, let's say at the beginning when you're gonna start practicing with the jump on the Alt 3, like for example jump here, yeah, this type of jump, gonna feel like harder. But after some time you're just gonna get like good enough with it that it won't even matter anymore, yeah? That's essentially an idea, yeah? You just get used to it. By the way, corners, for example, in Lurnia, you can jump on them. Another humongous freaking tech related to jumping. Real. And that's actually a good thing to remember. Essentially, practically any corner on the structures like this are actually jumpable. You can like kind of pixel walk, yeah? Like pixel walking is essentially term from the shooters, where you're like kind of holding onto the ledge of something like this. Yeah, for example, there is essentially no floor beneath me, or at least it looks like it. The another thing related to jump is more for fun, to be honest. Maybe you guys will find the way how to make it work better, but there is a fun thing. When you jump in place, you can rotate by a little bit more than 180 degrees, but that's essentially max. But if you're gonna jump and you're gonna use R1 in the air, you can do essentially 360. I'm not sure if you can utilize it in any way, shape or form, but yeah, it is actually something that you can do. If you're going neutral in place with stuff like PSGS, you can utilize it for the sake of to kind of blend your attack, because from the perspective of your opponent, they are not going to see the attack coming that easily. But that's going to be about it. Anyone? Any other questions? Or that's it? I guess like people on YouTube comments can just leave the questions. I might just do the follow-up video. I think it's gonna be probably the best way to do it.